Hello, everyone. Another awesome week of sports and
It's
all
Super Bowl
kinds.
week.
Super Bowl week,
Woo!
Pro Bowl week.
That don't count.
All right. So, lots of basketball went on this weekend. Lots and lots of basketball. Did you get a chance to? We're gonna start it off. We gonna start it off because I saw so many memes about it and I saw so many videos about it. That
I'm glad he's
boxing,
able to laugh about it.
apparently the toupee debacle. I didn't realize that they did toupees for brothers.
hmm It
Um,
wasn't even to pay. So what they do is they will basically put like a hair extension, just like braided hair over your head, and then they will cut it down into where they even out the length for it. And but they tell you unless you got some of the industrial straight grade glue, you can't sweat in it too much, and you can't do any type of real strenuous activity with it unless it is like unless you let it adhere. And obviously, neither one of them happened with dude because I saw the highlight of it. He was on the Breakfast Club this morning. He was able to joke about it, but that is like quintessentially the worst thing that could possibly happen to you during a fight. Besides, I would take getting knocked clean off out instead of that. But see, if he would have got knocked out and that would have flipped off, that would have been all of Mike Tyson punch out, Don Flamenco.
right. I mean,
It was close to it.
I thought it was some AI stuff.
I thought it was too when I saw it pop up.
It like dude got hit and the hair just went. Ugh. I'm like, wait, I'm like, they really getting creative with the AI. And then I started
Mm-mm.
seeing like stills of it where people was like, were like still pictures of it. I'm like, okay, this ain't no AI stuff. This
No, it was both face
and then people started actually showing the actual boxing video. I'm like, oh,
You gotta
oh.
hear the commentary on it. The commentary was like, "Is this hairpiece? Oh my god, it is!"
Right. Oh
It was
yeah. I got it all. People were making their own memes. People were reposting the video. That thing was everywhere. Um, I,
and but the one thing that about that incident, like we always say, the meme worthy and the comedy worthy always seems to overshine kind of the main subject of that. Shakur Stevens beat the out of Teofimo Lopez. Everything that they said about Shakur Stevenson, about him, um, about him not being exciting, about always running, about not standing in there and throwing punches. He beat the brakes off of Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo can't say it when the worst thing that Teofimo did was when somebody beats you enough to where you apologize for slavery
wondered
because
what that was
Teofimo,
about.
okay, Teofimo has had a for as good of a boxer that he is, his PR has always been a complete and utter clusterfuck. That's why he's always been about half a step below where he should have been with his boxing prowess. His father, as his manager slash corner man, ain't good, and then his promotion hasn't been that good. For him to be able to say that with the win that he had a few years ago to now, the where he's basically he needed that fight with Shakur to try to establish himself. He should have been already established. But one of his biggest problems is this runs too much. They asked him who you want to fight next. He said he literally said whatever monkey wants to step up next. Right. So when your PR, here's the thing. you're saying whatever monkey step comes up next, and you're Hispanic. So technically, you're a monkey too. But people see different things, different clarity, whatever else. But
But it just this whole thing, and this is why I get so irritated and I get so sick and tired of hearing and seeing when people say, "I'm me, accept me who I am, accept me as I am." What I need to know what I'm accepting first. I really do. Now, if you're the type of person that you putting all your best stuff out there and you're being mindful to as much as possible, not put your flaws out there as much as possible, okay, I can vibe with that because I try to do that. So we'll vibe. But if you just hey, whatever comes out. Yeah, see, I can't vibe with that because you're not going to understand. You're not going to be a person that's going to understand when the consequences keep smacking you around.
and for me, I'm more along the lines of I can deal with either side of it. But my biggest thing is that most of the time, if you're going to be a straight shooter, whatever comes out your mouth is how you feel in that moment with that. You always have to have in the back of your mind the cognitive thought process of you okay, hold on. Just in that one split second, if I say this is gonna mess me up.
And that's why I don't rock with it because that a
Because I would
very
sit there
high
and say,
percentage most of the time, I'll say most of the time, there are some people that do realize what they say and they just don't care. And they realize what they say, they know it's gonna sound bad, and they just don't care. I even have those moments depending on the context of the situation.
right. And
But
that's the
but
big part.
right, but uh a good most of the people that I've dealt with, let me put it that way. Most of the people that I've dealt with or that I've like seen, whether it be in public, whether it be on TV, whether it be on social media, even if somebody's reporting on somebody's reaction and what they said behind it, it all seems to mingle in the fact that they want to lean on they want to lean on freedom of speech when it hits the fan and the consequences are coming, but they don't think about the consequences of their actions to mingle it in there so that they can tweak it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I can't rock with it at all because it's like that, whether it be in relationships, whether it be at your job, uh, we see it in sports. Matter of fact, that instance where now the guy ended up coming around, that instance that you brought up with Seattle, where they went after dude like, dude, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else could see the consequences of the situation and they calling you out on it. He wasn't able to see it initially, but
No.
he had enough people come at him
To sit
after
up there and be like,
after the incident that it was like, okay, it's too
I must be wrong.
look,
There's too many people coming at me saying I was
yeah,
wrong. Yeah.
right. So and some of them, and it had to been some of them that he actually rocked with and he actually respected that had to like make him think about it. Which even in that situation, you old enough to know that there's times where even that won't even matter. It's like somebody that somebody respects could actually come up like, dude, you are wrong. I'm having that issue with my daughter right now. She's not understanding that a certain thing that she's saying is painting her a certain way and she just don't want to see it. And it's like, well, you saying this thing and it's sounding like a huge negative that's not only going to be a negative to you, but then it's going to be a negative to my granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
your words that are coming out of your mouth is sounding a certain way. Even if I get and understand that because I've gone through it, I live through it all the time. Even if I understand that maybe you don't completely demean it the way it sounds. Bottom line is this. It it does not sound cool, especially seeing that you always talking about you're not happy. So you can't say this thing. You can't talk about wanting to be with your sister. Your sister's not here. So if
It
you
it
so if you go ahead, my bad.
it boils down to when it comes down to those type of conversations when it comes to that, and I'm glad that he started to have a mea culpa. It shouldn't have taken them getting beaten the brakes off of him in order to do that, because not only did you look bad, but you had to eat crow. Plus all the smack that you was talking the entire lead up to the fight. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Was acting a complete clown. All Shakur said was like, "I'm gonna beat the brakes off of you." That's all I gotta say. I'm. You're not gonna beat me. I'm gonna beat the brakes off of you.
And this is why, and this is why I do not. I I don't like all the gab. I get the
Yeah, I
entertainment
don't
aspect
either.
of it. I get it. I get it. I understand it. But unless you are going to get out there and you gonna put your best foot forward, because a lot of times that all that talk and ego is you underestimating your opponent.
And that's what he was, and that's been the number one thing that everybody has done when it comes to Shakur Stevenson. You have to understand something. Shakur went to the Olympics, so he went through that whole boxing regimen in order to go do that. He's been fighting as a strategic boxer that then had Floyd throughout his whole training camp. You had Floyd and Terrence Crawford, which is who he basically treats him like his big brother at his training. So you have the two latest goats of the game helping to coach you along. There's a photo in that locker room before that fight where it was him, Crawford, Andre Ward, and Clarissa Shields all together. 145-0 in that room. He's not around the clowns. He's not around the people that's about the antics or the show or anything else like that. That boy was locked in from the time they signed it on. And what did he do right after that fight? Remember, he just won a light welterweight belt. He turned around and called out Conor Benn. Was
Yeah, I
like,
saw that.
you betted on him in order to beat me. You up next. I'll come up. Don't put that rehydration clause that you used on Eubanks in order to beat Eubanks on this contract. We can sign this right now. You can be my next fight. He wanted to go up 20 pounds to take the challenge. That's something
Now,
that's, but
now,
that's
now, now, what I heard him say that, and I was gonna ask you about that, and we're gonna um make some moves over to other things. Um, what is the rehydration clause, and why did he have a problem with it?
the rehydration clause that I heard that was in that fight with Eubanks at welterweight was Eubanks could not rehydrate after he lost the weight. Normally, what happens is when you supposed to be at the weight that you're supposed to fight at the weigh-in. After that, you can rehydrate and go as big as you want to after that fight. So you can sit up there and say, okay, at welterweight we fighting at 168, but your resting fighting weight might be 180. As long as you hit 168 when you did that weigh in, if you sit up there and you start drinking and rehydrating, your water weight might balloon you back up to that weight within that same day. They put a cap on how much weight he could put back on after that water weight. And it was like, wait, what? Whoa. How you gonna tell somebody that they can't get fully back up to what they was and their natural strength? because you want to put a cap on it because your resting weight before you might be walking around at 175. You only had to drop 7 pounds. If he's at 185, he had to drop 17, and he had to go through a tougher weight cut in order for him to get it back up.
But isn't that more on the boxer that's being put on instead of the one that said it? Because I mean I could see why he would want to do that because he would want to make sure that
But it's an exception. That the reason why he got called out about it was because most of the time, most of the fighters when they take that on, even with Canelo versus Crawford, Crawford knew that when Canelo rehydrated, Canelo was going to be almost 20 pounds heavier than him. That was what they were talking about during the fight. He's a heavier boxer. That more weight is going, that they thought that more weight was going to be able to pound on Crawford and lower him down. They didn't realize
right,
that Crawford, a lot of people don't realize that when fighters drop down and then they move up, they're dropping down below their resting weight. So they're cutting the weight. They're being as lean as possible as they get to that point. The closer they get to their resting weight, the closer you're going to get to where power is. So if you sitting up, if Canelo knows that he needed to be at 168, I think it was either 168 or 172 for that fight,
yeah,
and he dropped down to that weight, and then he ballooned back up right afterwards with that to get back to his natural weight by rehydrating. What's called that 172 is what Crawford walks around with every day. So he really didn't have to do a cut. Versus that situation with Ben and Eubanks, if Eubanks was resting, is at 185 resting, he came down to 168, and you told him you can't go above 175, you're not getting his full strength. You're capping where he is, where you're naturally at 175.
mm.
So it makes it to where it's an unfair. It made it to where it was an advantage for Ben because Ben's fighting at his norm, what he walks around at. He's at
Yeah,
what.
no. I get I get why it's a disadvantage to the fighter at the weight, but I still say that that's on him because why wouldn't you, if you know your resting weight is so high, why not
The
fight
money,
closer to that resting weight?
the money, the money aspect of it. If you're in the problem with a lot of boxing right now is that there's a gap between welterweight, super welterweight, and then it used to be middleweight before you went to to light heavyweight. Middleweight's
Right.
gone pretty much now. So now you're going up. So once you get to super welterweight, your next step up is light heavyweight now. So you're jumping from probably around 168 to 175 to 205 rested, pretty much. So you got 30.
They got rid of cruiserweight too?
Cruiserweight. I haven't seen too many. Let me check with Ring while we move on. I'll pull it up. But I
Yeah.
thought with Ring, Ring condensed a lot of those categories that was in there for it. Because everybody's banking on the Ring magazine as the be all end all now, which is good because it's getting rid of all the damn multi-belt conglomerates that's in there for it. But at the same time, it's not it's not the it's still making it to where it's not certain levels to it to where it's a definitive champion. Let's see here. Ring magazine. Wait. Okay, go. Weight classes. They do have cruiserweight. Cruiserweight is above light heavyweight.
I thought they did because
Yeah, but it's above light heavyweight. So now it's heavyweight, cruiserweight is 200 pounds, light heavyweight is 175, super middleweight. Oh damn, I'm sorry, I'm off. So super middleweight is 168, middleweight is 160, Junior middleweight is 154, welterweight's 147, junior welterweight is 140. So what happened with Ben was, pull it up. Okay. So Ben, okay, the Chris Eubanks versus Conor Ben rematch that was featured a strict 10-pound rehydration clause, capping the fighters at 170 pounds the morning of the fight, 10 pounds above the 160. Eubanks Jr. heavily criticized, citing safety concerns and severe dehydration before the bout. So that's what it was. It was supposed to be one. They was fighting at 160. They put a cap saying they can only go up to 170.
Yeah, so that was a 15-pound disadvantage for him.
Right.
I don't know. I get the premise, but I still would want to be that way. Somebody couldn't hit me with something like that. I would still want to be somewhere close to my resting weight.
Because right now the championship is vacant. Conor Ben is fourth. Eubanks is ninth in
Hmm.
there. And Eubanks, they got Eubanks's weight. They got Ben at 156. They got Eubanks at 159 for in that middleweight division. Super middleweight, are they in there? Nope, they're not in the top 10 for that. And see, here's the other thing. Ring Magazine got a lot of belts that's vacant. Jesus Christ. Yeah, they got a lot of belts. They get everything in the junior middleweight and welterweight, and Shakur just won junior welterweight. So yeah, it's a mess with that. But that's all that wrangling that goes on behind the scenes to where you might agree to something because of the payday, and that's the other thing. It's the payday. If I can't fight nobody, if my biggest fight is within my class that I'm registered in right now, I would love to move up and be more natural, but I'll do that closer toward the end of my career than in the beginning when it gets harder for me to cut the weight. All right, what you got next?
Oh, dang. I just had one pop up and I'm kind of reading over it. And it's still in the realm of boxing. Apparently, Ariel Hawani is apparently they're trying to slam Zuffa because apparently they have no sanctioning fees.
Everybody, so everybody's going after Zuffa and Ring
Yeah,
because they're not trying to they're not trying to kill the market with all the things for WBC, WBO, and WBA.
right.
So when you when you have a fight for those belts, there's a fee that you have to pay off of the purse in order to give back to basically the organization to basically say, hey, yeah, I fought representing you for this. Now, normally that's negotiated during the fight, during the particulars of the fight. That way, the fighter doesn't see that much of the payment off of they end off of after the pay-per-view views and everything else from that final cut is
Yeah,
negotiated out of it. The issue that happened between Crawford and I think the WBC was the WBC came back and said, no, we want more. And he was like, the hell am I giving you? Why am I giving you money to represent you? And I beat the fighter that was representing you. like this? Why are you trying to take more from your cut? Everybody else was cool with what they had for their cut. But you want more because you feel like you're above everybody else. Nah, here, take the belt. I already won. You can't sit there and take it out of the books that I won the fight. And what's it called with Zuffa working with Ring Magazine, they basically saying, forget all this. We want the best fights going up there to be the championship for what it is, for the Ring Championship, which is
Oh,
pretty much the Universal Championship.
Dana Petty.
Yeah, Dana's very petty. That's why I'm glad Dana's in it.
Well, I'm seeing another part of it where why dude is mad. Apparently, the Canelo fight, Crawford fight,
Mm-hmm.
Dana and them didn't make sure that they had any credentials to get them in.
For Area Hawani,
For damn it, where did it go? Who was
it
it?
was it had to be Hawani
Um, no, well, I don't. Where did
because
it?
what's it called works for him. Max Kellerman works for him.
Suleiman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
The,
Suleiman.
the ones that's with ESPN.
The ones that I guess he with the WBC.
Oh, the WBC. Oh, yeah. Why? Why would I? Why would I? You've been poo-pooing me creating this new league or this new federation with Zuffa and Ring for so long. Why would I play nice with you? I got your fighters with your belts fighting in my shit. Why would I? If anything, you need to be getting in bed with me. Because last time I checked, even if you look at the zone for what they did for this fight, that still ain't touching what they did for Canelo Alvarez, and that was free on Netflix. That's the thing. Dana White's in a position right now to where he can run free fights on Netflix and run free UFC on Paramount and still turn a profit.
Yeah, speaking of that, I got to see if I can if I could use my cheat code to get on Paramount.
The,
Um,
and it makes it to where the crazy part about it is that you still try that fight on the zone for that Shakur Stevenson Teofimo Lopez fight was $69.99 to watch somebody toupee get knocked off and watch this in the main event. Somebody get basically beat the crap out of like a child that stole something from a daggone penny candy store, and their grandparent caught them for 12 freaking rounds. It wasn't even pretty. That's why I'm like, nah, man, no, I'm not paying 69 for that. Sure the hell didn't. But
right.
anyway,
All right. Um, okay. So let's jump over to the NBA. I told you I had some stuff that I want to talk about. Once again, we're gonna run through these real quick. Um, if we have time when we get to the NFL, I got one that I sent you like within the last hour.
okay,
Uh, guy was taking a shot at the Patriots. Um, we'll throw that in. We'll throw that in if we have time. But
okay,
other than that, Iguodala. Where is he? Iguodala. Well, while I'm scrolling for it, basically Iguodala felt like fans should also be giving flowers to Kyrie because Kyrie was a pivotal reason why Cleveland won the championships that they won uh, while LeBron was in Cleveland.
yes.
That was the gist of it.
Let again the year that breaks my heart every time I talk about this at 73-9. The only reason why they were even in remotely the position to even pull off that comeback from 3-1 is not LeBron. It's Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie never got the respect off of that. That is why Kyrie wanted to leave. Because at the end of the day, people fail to realize this. Kyrie held that team and fought with that team after LeBron left and they were gifted the number one draft pick. And he was the person that was built to be the savior. And they built up that team. They tried to build up that team around him. As soon as LeBron came back from being away from college, aka Miami, and wanted to come back home, they basically said, "Oh, they gave Kyrie the good old thank you for coming. We thank you for everything that you did, but Daddy's home, so you now go back to stepdaddy role or side nigga role. You over here, just do what you do and make sure that Daddy happy." And that's not Kyrie's nature. And
No, no.
Kyrie sat there. He knew what his contract position was. He knew the best way for him to be able to force his way out of there was to play his butt off. And what did he do? He played his butt off. If you think about that big three that they put around him during LeBron up there in Cleveland, it was pretty much LeBron and Kyrie, and Kevin Love did something every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you saw what happened when Kyrie left. What went from a comeback from 3-1 went to ass beating, and then it was over.
Yeah.
So Iguodala's right. That is the unsung hero of that. If there's a statue of LeBron that goes up outside of the Rocket Loans Arena in Cleveland, there should be one somewhere on the opposite side for Kyrie Irving getting y'all that championship too. And y'all can put a bench up there for Kevin Love and the rest of them. I mean,
Yeah. I think what hurt Kevin was, unlike Chris Bosh, correct, you can correct me if you don't agree with this. Um he you already had two ball dominant people in Kyrie and LeBron. And then you had him. He couldn't help himself. He couldn't do like Chris Bosh and like figure out what his niche was. So there was a lot of clashing. There was a lot of clashing that kind of hindered him because there's only so much ball to go around, as they say. What do you think?
his style never meshed with theirs.
Right, right, right.
His style never messed with them. If you would have told me that they was bringing Kevin Love in there to be a rebounder, a occasional pick and pop, and J.R. Smith was the actual third member of that triumvirate, I would have said okay. Because J.R. Smith has showed that he could when he was with the Knicks and I forgot who he was with before he went
No,
there.
no, 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 no. He showed with the Nuggets. Now
Nuggets and Knicks.
with
Nuggets
with
and Knicks. He
with
had
the
times
with
with
the
the
Knicks,
Knicks.
he stayed on the not top 10. I'm sorry. That's all I can remember about his time.
He had some moments because he had some moments during that mellow during that time when it was him and Stoudemire and them was there. He had
I,
some
I
moments,
I know,
but
but
not
that's
as
all I
much
can
as them.
remember. All I can remember is him and Shumpert stayed consistently before they were Shaq and the Fool. There was the ESPN not top 10, and
Yeah.
that's why I got real confused when LeBron was like, "Yeah, bring Shumpert and uh um bring them over here." I'm like, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
Which, don't get me wrong, I knew that he was a player when he was with the Nuggets, but when he got to the Knicks, something happened. He wasn't what he was. It just I was like, and like I said, every time I turned around, he stayed on the not top 10. So I was like, so when it come to his career in New York, that's most of what I remember. That's unfortunately. But yeah. So I mean, there's always gonna be those moments. That's just like the whole thing. That was part of my issue that made me not like Isaiah as much. It's not that he wasn't a talented dude, but just like Jordan when he was in Chicago, there was times when other people got hot Jordan got the MVP or Isaiah got the MVP. So if Aguirre or Vinny or Dumars or heck, even in some moments, even Lambeer, John Sally, somebody, and all Isaiah did was kept feeding them the ball. Because he kept feeding them the ball, he got the MVP of the game. But
Yeah,
but when he got hot, he got MVP of the game. I'm like, so wait, when he get hot and he can't be stopped shot wise, he the MVP of the game. When he's passing the ball and he's not getting all the points, he getting his points, but he wasn't the main reason behind the catalyst behind why they ultimately won the game. He got the MVP most of the time. I'm like,
yeah, because he was
uh-uh.
because at the end of the day, with any sport, just like we talk about when it comes to football, when it comes to basketball, baseball, not as it depends. The
Yeah,
superstar, the ace, the superstar, the number one on the team will always get all the praise when everything is going good. And unless they are just playing atrociously, none of the backlash when things are going bad.
right. And but my even at a young age, I was just looking up like, nah, this ain't it. And you could say that because of that's part of what soured me towards Jordan. Just like with the coaching situation that we talked about, that I ended up finding out years later that and it made me rethink. I'm like, so wait, during that time where I didn't like him, where I felt like he was hogging the ball, if the coach was setting up the plays that way, that's not completely on Jordan. That just and and it made me have to rethink how I approach my thought when I see a player um doing that. It actually helped me, ease off of even Allen Iverson and
Mm-hmm.
Kobe. It's like, but I mean, if you always got the ball, you always got the ball. But
Right,
if the players are even acquiescing to you, like Allen Iverson used to point out, he used to try to make sure that he did not have the ball, but
right.
they would
But they
turn
still
right back
turn
around
back
and
around and give it right back to him.
right.
It,
So it's like you can't completely shoot him because people are being complacent and
and that's like the argument that they was having with Jason when Jason Tatum was on the pivot and he was talking about how people are starting to poo-poo on Kobe's efficiency when he was with his shooting averages and stuff when he was in the league and everything. The problem with stats right now is that you can always use stats in order to reflect whatever you want it to be.
mhm.
Nobody can sit there. The on For everybody that sits there and says, "Well, Kobe was ball dominant. He was doing this and doing this." I want them all to do what some of the pundits have been doing lately. Take a look at that roster from that 2009 and 2010 back-to-back championship team. Who the was on that team?
And I get that. But the other thing that has to be factored in is if you got a bunch of players on your team
Mm-hmm.
and the stories are starting to come out, and I don't like how they doing it because it's kind of reminding me of how people did Joe Paterno behind that Sandusky crap. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if you wasn't gonna call it out while it was going on, don't wait till he died and then everybody and their mama come out the woodwork.
Exactly.
Because I was calling it out while he was still
Exactly.
alive. I understood that to an extent. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head why I understood it, but I told people why he was alive. That nickname Black Mamba wasn't only because of on the court.
No.
You know what? It was Phil's book. It was Phil's book confirming what I knew just from the little leaks here and there, just from the little leaks here and there, and from reading, because like I tell you all the time, somebody's demeanor, you can pretty much, it's not fair to judge them and think that you know them.
Yeah.
You can have a perception of what you think you know and go, I think this is how he is according to what I'm seeing, how he's coming off, his demeanor. Now, did that get refuted a little bit by stories of when he first got in and how and conversations that he actually had with people? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because he came in and he was trying to learn. I'm like, okay, well, his demeanor when he was on the court, that wasn't the vibe I got. Okay, all right, that adds a little bit more to the bowl of context. Okay, got it. Um, Now where it factored in to be true was the relationship between him and the coach at the time, and then the front office was kind of acquiescing to him getting rid of people, sending them elsewhere. It's like, I've seen this story, and if it wasn't fulfilled, the only thing you could say about Kobe's career, and it would be a legitimate question, if he would have ever won a championship, had Phil never gone over there.
That's the question.
And that's a legit
But see, that's the
question.
legit. But see, the thing about that is that the only person that can sit there that played under Phil that was a superstar that can ever say they won a championship without Phil is Shaq.
Shaq, Steve is and Steve Kerr. Yeah.
But Steve Kerr was never a superstar. He was a role
Well,
player.
yeah. True.
To be the alpha, the only alpha that has played underneath Phil that has won a championship somewhere else was Shaq.
And even he had to
He had
go
to go to
to
Pat.
right. Like,
Right. So it's like you went from Sensei 2 to Sensei 1.
right.
So
And,
it's not
and one could question if he would have five if Wade hadn't gotten hurt that first time that they went.
right.
So I mean, there's just so many questions. But yeah,
But that's how life that's how it rolls. It
and
can't
and and
it
I was always the person that the more that I actually really started paying attention to how they was handing out MVPs, it actually made me pay attention a lot more to everybody around Isaiah.
yeah.
Like Mark Aguirre, Vinny the Microwave.
Think
He
about how
was a
many players that got they jerseys retired that played with the Pistons during that time frame at other places. Aguirre just got his retired in Dallas last week.
I know, and I posted because somebody posted it on Facebook, and I said, and they better do the same thing, uh the Pistons better do the same thing,
Yeah,
and somebody hit like on it. It was like because there was Adrian Dantley, there was Mark Aguirre, there was Microwave was always coming off the bench.
was Vinny. But here's the thing: you got to remember, Dantley got traded for Aguirre,
Yeah, that's right.
so Dantley never won a title with Detroit. It was Aguirre because Aguirre when they brought Aguirre on was when they went on that run in '88 in order to take off and go no in '89 when they went on that run on the back end of that season and win that championship. And then he came back that next year when they was just beating up everybody and went on that run to go back to back. But so it was not, and then I thought they brought Vinny in on the ninth. I think Vinny only got one title with them. I don't think he got the one in '89. If I remember correctly, I thought Vinny came in. Vinny came in after the fact.
Oh,
No, he was there. He was there. I'll take that back. He played all 82 and averaged 13 on 46% shooting.
okay. Yeah, I'm definitely
But
looking
Horn
in.
was the one that didn't come back after the second one. after
Right,
the either after
right.
the first one.
Because he ended up going to Philly, and he was a part of that. The first,
Yeah, he was part of that. He didn't. He got traded
he got traded to Philly, and
Philly, and he was so he
he
got the
was a
one
part
ring
of
and got the
the
second.
fight with Lambert and all the craziness in '90. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Because he
yeah,
was
yeah,
upset. That whole 30 for 30 on them was where I caught up on all that stuff. Because I still have the T-shirt from the '89 championship with all
yeah.
the cartoon figures on it for it.
I moved around too much because I had a shirt because remember I think it was the when they won the second one the
Mm-hmm.
the the Michigan basketball team won the national championship.
That same year.
So they actually had a shirt that basically signified that they won. I had two shirts actually. I had one that said said the champions, and then I had another one that had the state, the whole state on it, and it had a star. It had a star on in Lansing, not in Lansing, on Ann Arbor, and one on where the Palace of Auburn Hills is, and it had an M, and it had the Pistons and champions on it. But like I said, I moved around too much, so it unfortunately did not follow me up to now. But yeah. Just and that's why and that's why when they be upset about the whole not giving credit thing, I can respect what they're saying because they didn't even do that to a lot of the players back in the day, and that's where I want to end up taking this this show. I want to end up putting myself in a position to where I am talking about a lot of those players because there's a lot of players that people don't get no respect because of who was on the team. And speaking of that, that's going to roll us right into our um another one that I wanted to cover. And this one's going to be easier to find because I actually took a picture of it to make sure. At least I thought I took a picture of it. Um, okay. All right. I guess I didn't take a picture of it. All right. Uh, give me a few seconds. But yeah, like I was saying, um, you have to give all credit where all credit is due. You can't sit up there and just like for all the talk about Jordan being the player that he was, there were some other players on those teams that there were some other players on those teams that were a that were big contributors, and they may not have contributed as many points as Jordan, but they were consistent enough in contributing the points that that it helped Jordan and Pippen not have to come up with as much.
Oh yeah, and it just makes it to where it was a balance of a team, and that's one of the things that people always fail to realize sometimes when it comes to that is that when it's with it being a balance of a team, you can't sit there and you're not everybody's not going to be one player every once in a while might drop 30 or 40. Shoot, dang, what's his name? It's slipping my head right now. The forward slash center for Cleveland yesterday dropped 40 out the blue. And
Yeah, now if
he's
he was
capable
at
of it, but he doesn't have to do it all the time. They would want him to do it a little bit more often, but dang it, I cannot remember his name. Jonathan, it's not Isaacs. Darn it, I'll find it. But he dropped the 40 and he dropped 40 and 17. He became the first player to do that since LeBron did it in the finals. So it's like, okay, he did what he was supposed to do. Well, he had his game where he did that. Most of the other times, you thinking about either
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen, yeah, but most of the
Yeah,
other time he does. He's just in there to rebound and block shots. It just so happened the matchup made it to where he could score yesterday.
yeah, they got too many people. I kind of feel like Cleveland's problem is they got too many people that can score,
Yes,
and which that sounds ridiculous. But when you got too many people that can score, well, what happens if they're not touching the ball enough?
they get bored.
Right. And they may not even be consciously doing it.
And
It
no,
just it happens.
but that's the reason why Cleveland. Everybody thinks that Donovan Mitchell is the reason why Cleveland will win or lose the title. It's not Donovan Mitchell. It's
No.
Garland. It's Garland. Because if Garland is in there and Garland is helping to distribute the ball to who's open, that's when they're clicking. That's when they're rolling. When he's hurt, mm-mm. And that's his thing. He's been hurt too much. When they were on that run to where they was the 1 seed last year, it was because Garland was balling out and everybody was eating. As soon as Garland got hurt, what was it? Oh, they ain't making it past the second round. What happened? They ain't make it past the second round. And you see a lot of these teams that are built to where it's a whole bunch of scores, they
They
are
end up just standing around.
they end up standing around, and unless they got an adequate distributor, that's what makes them work. That's what made OKC work with SGA. That's what made Indiana work with Halliburton last year. And you can see detrimentally what it does with Halliburton being out.
Halliburton being out, they done traded they traded away a lot of
Turner,
players too, because
yeah.
and Nemhard is down in Dallas. And it's so awkward watching Dallas
Wait a
because
minute, Nembhard's in Dallas.
yeah,
When did Nembhard
Turner
leave?
Turner wasn't the only one they let go, and I forgot about it until I watched the
Oh
Dallas
my
game.
God, that's why.
Yeah,
That explains to me what. Oh my Lord, I did not know Nembhard was gone. I thought Nembhard was still there.
no, I remember hearing about it not too long after Turner left, but I completely forgot about it until I was watching Dallas, and I'm like, Nemhard, why does he keep saying that that's Nemhard from Indiana? What's he doing in Dallas? And man, and and that's the other part of it is if you start parting
No,
ways.
he's still there. Andrew Nembhard is still there. He's still
Okay,
with Indiana.
somebody somebody from Indiana that was there last year. There was who was the other one? Because I'm telling you, the guy.
I'm checking their roster right now. Roster. Show me the roster. Do your job, Max. Exum?
Yeah, no point guard. Yeah, Ryan Nemhard.
No, it was Andrew that was there. Nip Ryan wasn't with them. That's his brother.
Ah,
Yeah, that's
gotcha.
his brother. Brian Demhart, this is his first year in the league.
Okay.
But it's not, but even with that, I thought Exum was there.
Um,
Gafford. Yeah. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he threw me off because he done had his hair braided a few times. That was another reason why I thought it was him. Because in this picture that I'm seeing on ESPN, his hair ain't braided. But there was a couple times, pretty sure I saw him playing with his hair braided. But anyway, um, oh my Jesus. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about it again. We talked about it yesterday on my wrestling show, but when we get to football, we're gonna have to talk about it. And I feel bad for him if
Oh,
it's true. Russell. Um anyway,
Oh, if you're talking about what you think it is, it's not. If you're talking about the files,
yeah,
it's not true. He came out and dropped the. He came out and explained everything that was with that one. He was trying to purchase a plane, and the person that was trying to help facilitate it was the pilot, was Epstein's private pilot, and he was trying to sell Epstein's plane to him. And once he found out who it was, he backed out of it. He said, "I've never met the man," and he said, "I never bought the plane. I never had any interactions with him." His exact tweet was, "Not today, Satan."
right.
Yeah, he wasn't. He said he had nothing to do with it. A lot of things, and a pivot point for the conversation here. A lot of things. The problem that I have with the release of all of the Epstein files is that you can search on the government's website for whatever name of whatever celebrity you might want to on there, and it will pop up if they are mentioned in there. But unless you're reading what their name is in there for and reading the context behind it, you got a lot of people that's jumping to conclusions just because the name was in the files versus trying to find out if they were actually having interactions with him in there for it.
And
So
at the party.
right, and at the parties or on the island or doing the stuff. That's why the NFL just announced they're going to investigate Tesh, the Giants owner, because his name is in there as being present or having interactions to where people were brought to him in there before he even owned the Giants.
Mm.
And if that's the case, and they find out that there was some ties in there for it, the Giants are about to go back up for sale.
Wow. Probably one of the moments where you were like, hey, did Mike Brown?
You don't think some people looked?
I'm sorry. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, hey, was Mike Brown in there?
Shit, hold on.
Oh God, look what I done started.
Keep going. I'm about Epstein Library, Department of Justice. I am not a robot. Are you 18 years or older? Yes, I am. I'm
Oh
a real boy.
jeez. Oh my God, what have I just done?
Search full Epstein Library. Mike, Michael Brown.
Oh man, that's horrible. Oh man, what did I just do? Um oh geez. Uh so yeah. But while you're doing that, Dalton Connect asking to be traded.
Should have
Thoughts?
been did that.
Huh?
Should have been did that. Dalton Connect has not. Dalton Connect. Oh, I don't know why I'm hesitating. The Lakers fucked this up. Point blank, period. The whole design for the Lakers was we wanted 3-point shooters surrounded by LeBron's ability to drive and pitch. Dalton Connect is a rebounding, catch and shoot, 3-point shooter out of college.
Mm-hmm.
You had him, you saw what he could do during the preseason and in the beginning part of the season. He made himself into an asset. What did you turn around and do? Because he was an asset, you tried to turn around and trade him to Charlotte. Once you try to trade somebody and then it comes back that you can't trade them because the person that you was trying to trade them for was not worth the pack of bubble gum that they was chewing when they got hurt. You have no trust factor there anymore. I'm playing you. He became the quintessential Marshawn Lynch of the Lakers. I'm just playing here so I don't get fined. That's it.
And you know, I mean, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about in terms of like how are things being done? Because points wise, he was pretty consistent
Right.
when he was in. So to end up taking him out of the lineup and then you got to bring him back and then he starts finding that he's losing playing time to for Bronny, and it's like,
I just I want it to stop. I want this is my one this is what I want this week. This is what I want this week. I want Giannis to go to Golden State. That way I don't have to root for the Lakers no more. I'm tired.
you don't want him to go to the Bulls because I seen somebody put out a potential trade him and
No,
Coop.
I don't care. At this point, I don't I don't care. Because here's the thing. The only way the Lakers are going to win a championship in the next 2 to 3 years is if they trade for Giannis. And I said that last year. Put Giannis and Luka, get LeBron and his son out the way, make a
Yeah,
package deal. You got draft picks. You got an owner that don't care about being over the luxury cap. Send it. That's why when Shams came out and said the Lakers are a dark horse, I was like, I figured they would pop in here sometime. But at this point, I don't know what they are doing. I don't know if the ownership group is running the team or is Genie still running the team. I know for a fact who ain't running the team, and that's JJ. JJ didn't checked out because JJ right now feels basically it's like I'm with a whole bunch of players that is like trying to put a whole bunch of pieces together for to make one puzzle out of four different ones. What am I supposed to do?
and you are basically looking at what happens when the entire team does not buy in and it's not surrounded by by and said team is not surrounded by people that basically shoot themselves in the foot.
It's not.
And when I say that, I'm talking about basically the East. This is why.
I can't even. For me, it comes down to I think that you've done so much acquiescing to LeBron. Now LeBron's not the one, but you're still treating him like he's the one. Because for some reason, you're holding some type of high respect and regard to him because he's technically the one. When everything came out for all those issues that happened with the sale of the team last week, or
Yeah,
yeah, it was last week when it came to that, and then y'all turned right back around and y'all was sitting up there talking about, well, the relationship between us and LeBron is not that bad. Screw that. If it is, it is. At the end of the day, what are you worried about? Are you worried about this person's feelings? Are you worried about the Los Angeles Lakers winning a championship? Because if you're worried about the Los Angeles, I know the owner of the Dodgers that just bought it is worried about the Los Angeles Lakers winning a championship. If Jeannie Buss is still trying to say after she just basically threw her entire family under the bus to stay in control, if all of a sudden you have some part of your moral being to where you want to keep LeBron happy, then you have
yeah,
completely missed the point of what you did.
but according to that story, not only was she throwing her family up under the bus, but she was done with LeBron.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. They all sides then came out since then saying no, the relationship is good with us.
Well,
Both
that's what
sides.
they're supposed to say because they
I
don't.
get that, but I get
They
that. I get that they're doing it for the PR. But at the end of the day, is that solving the problem? No, if at the end of the day, if I sit up here, if we gonna sit up here and me and you aren't seeing eye to eye about this show,
Yeah,
and we turn around and a statement comes out to where you're saying where it says, well, I don't want I really ain't feeling Jay right now with it for it, but we still working together with that. You can either take it one or two ways. Be real about it, and then have it to where we start figuring out how we part ways and still have the respect there, or lie about it but still be backbiting it behind the scenes, which ends up affecting the team.
right.
And that's what I think is happening. It's too much backbiting. It's too much BS behind the scenes to where JJ's fed up with it, because JJ, as the coach, he has to deal with one player that's sulking and not doing anything else. He's got his star player that he's trying to keep happy. He's got the role players that don't know who they're supposed to be following.
And I think another issue with JJ is all this is landing on his doorstep.
Right.
People are blaming
Oh,
him when
right.
he has the ability to coach, but the question is does he have the true power? And that is the problem that you get into when you are coaching a LeBron James. If he don't, if you can't coach and he basically just be able to do whatever he wants to do, how he sees fit, with you coming in maybe with some good ideas enough to stay in his good graces, um, to where he'll listen to you more often than not and won't do things like you in the middle of the huddle and he come up in the middle of the huddle and take the clipboard from you. It just no. Now
That's why I said. That's why when remember when they made that hire was the first thing came out of my mouth. How do you go from sipping tea and breaking down plays with the player to coaching that player and think that there's a respect factor while sipping wine?
which to me it did he basically come up with a way to become a player version of Jerry Jones?
No, where he's always been that. Think about how many coaches LeBron has cost them their job. The only place he's been to where he did not get a coach to lose their job was Miami.
Yeah, and that was essentially because of
Because Pat was like, "You not running the ship. I am."
right, right. And so he had a better eye view of what was going on and how it was going on and
And think about the trend.
and the sad part is he's been getting vilified for it because players don't want to come there.
And think about the trend as well. How many of those coaches that they brought in for LeBron was a head coach before they came to be with LeBron? None.
Mike Brown,
Mike Brown was. Mike Brown was, but Mike Brown was in the early part of his tenure of being after being an assistant coach for the longest time. Ty Lue, nope, no head coaching experience. When he came in, when they won the championship with what's McCall it? I can't even remember his name now. Darn, that's sad. Oh well. When they brought when they won the title the next year, who did they end up getting? They got Luke. They got the former Laker because he was hot. And then they brought in, I forgot who they brought in between there. God, see, that's how disconnected I've been with him, because it's just been like, oh shit, okay. And then they turn around, and then what did he do now? They brought in JJ. I can guarantee you who the next coach is going to be if LeBron's still there. Steve Nash.
hasn't he already been kicked out of LA once?
No, He got kicked out. He left LA as a player, but not as a coach. The only place he got kicked out as a coach was Brooklyn.
Gotcha.
But that's what. But watch, if LeBron still has say and has pull, and this team is not where they're supposed to be by the end of the season, and LeBron takes a pay cut and he stays, I bet you that pay cut comes with Steve Nash needs to come in and be our new head coach. I know your face is how I've been wearing it on the week of the anniversary of Kobe's death. I've been wearing that on my sleeve because I watched that game last night, and it was like, I don't like this. And I don't like this for Luka because Luka's in a while, Luka's gonna pull your card. He's gonna be like, all right, so who is it gonna be? He's gonna pull the Prince. Do you want him or do you want me? Because I want you.
Yeah. All right. So, I they do need to figure out something. Um, I don't know if they will. What? Okay, real quick, take maybe 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
What in God's name is going on with Dennis Schroeder? And then I got one more basketball segment. Then we jumping over to the NFL.
The quickest way I can decide Dennis Schroeder is you're watching the example of what happens when you think that you're bigger than what you are, and you had opportunity to probably max out your potential or max out your value, and you tried to overshoot your coverage, and you're still chasing it. And your attitude, because now you get mad because people call you out for the punchline that you are. The whole incident with Luka was because Luka said you should have took the money, which everybody said you should have took the money. When you had opportunity to get that deal where you made $84 million, and you decide no, and bet on yourself, and your combined contracts has came up to half of that amount since then. You have the right to be the punchline of everybody's jokes. Mm-hmm. You're one false move away from playing overseas. So for you to have that much balls and gumpture to sit up there and want to fight somebody and get suspended for trying to fight somebody after they basically, you got mad because somebody told you the truth. That shows how soft you are. And yes, it was ribbing. Yes, they're going to do anything to get under your skin. But at the end of the day, there was some truth behind what they said. Because everybody told you should have took the money. But I'm all for having a high self-regard. Just make sure your skills back it up. Because you didn't deserve the $84 million. But they would have gave it to you. And you would have been happy. But you're not happy. That's all it was. That's why you went from Sacramento to Cleveland. You better be happy you went to Cleveland.
Yeah, and then to look up and like, dude, he just got traded yesterday. What the hell he get?
He's the pass around. He's the blood.
Good Lord. That's too much. All right. Yeah, I did watch that Lakers game yesterday. I swear to God, I get so sick and tired of watching people when they have a chance to, my competitive side, usually you get a chance to put your foot on somebody's neck, do it. And I watched both them teams just not, it was like they didn't want it until the fourth quarter came.
No, because they played through the paces.
And then New York finally decided they wanted it.
Yeah, but that's what it boils down to.
And then wow, you bring in a player-friendly coach, and now the player-friendly coach might be the reason why you need to get rid of Cat, aside from who Cat is as a player.
Cat. Cat never fit.
Well, yeah.
Let's be real. Cat never. And
Yep.
Cat's trade, I think, was more Minnesota's move
Yep.
to get out from underneath him because they knew he didn't fit with them than it was
Yep.
to help the Knicks.
Right, but in it essentially that was the Luca trade before the Luca trade, just
Yeah,
not just not in terms of like the importance of the players. It there was clearly like a difference of like the obviously Luca and AD would be more important than Randall as much as I like him. Randall and Cat. That whole trade is like nobody was losing sleep over that in comparison to the AD Luca trade. So your status in the NBA is on different levels. So, but even I said it. I said it to you. I said so. Basically, you traded. You were trying to fix a problem, and you trying to fix it with the same problem.
yeah.
And just like it's in different contexts, that's basically what the Lakers and Dallas did. You traded, you traded for somebody that you felt like wasn't mentally disciplined enough to keep themselves in shape so that their injuries would stay down. You traded a player for a player. And the Lakers, although the Lakers won out more because at least from an offensive standpoint, Luca is Luca, but
Right. It's
but
Luca.
but 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 AD can't be AD from a defensive standpoint, let alone an offensive standpoint,
Mr. Glass can't do
because he goes too hard and he stays injured too much.
it's not going too hard. It's not going too hard.
Is part of it.
The no, it's the fact of yo, and they've been talking about it. They were talking about it on Gilbert Arenas' show over the weekend. Their physical, their physical builds are is not built for contact. It's built for lateral movement and basically going from third three-point line, 3-point line. That's why I always said if somebody was to come up and to be in a Shaq build right now that could shoot, they would probably be in the conversation of being the greatest player of all time coming over the next 5 to 10 years because they could go inside and literally muscle somebody off the block and get their points in there. And then if they double or triple team enough, they can bring them out to the 3-point line and be able mid range to 3-point line, be able to shoot from out there to draw them in. And if they cover them out there, now they can kick when the double team comes to somebody else that's open and get them to score. That is the quintessential cheat code for right now. Everybody thinks that Wemby is that cheat code, but the problem with Wemby is Wemby's too thin. Wemby, if somebody remotely 6'10", 265 goes in there against Wemby and puts them on their back, it's gonna look like a freaking ant on the back of an elephant. Or a walking stick on the back of an elephant.
Yeah.
But they don't, but that's the problem. When it comes to AD's quick. He's a good 2-3 stepper and then going. Giannis is the same way. The biggest headache that they're saying about Giannis right now is that yes, Giannis is still quintessentially a top 5 player, but how many more calf injuries is he going to have? And how many times do you fix that calf and then mess it up again, then fix it again, then mess it up again, to where after a while there's not going to be any tread left for you to be having that explosiveness there. And Giannis has not shown without the explosiveness he can be a straight up shooter or anything else like that. He's not Jokic. Because that's what Giannis would turn into. It would be Jokic. But Jokic has perfected the lazy ball method. So have we seen Giannis be able to shoot a three like that? No. Have we been able to see Giannis shoot a mid range like that? No. If he can't jump and grab rebounds or anything else, that's the risk you're taking for this trade. And AD was the risk with that trade. AD has never played a full 82 game season. So now you turn around and you're trying to build AD's back on the market again. That'd be what, team five? Four?
Hmm.
No, team four. New Orleans to LA to Dallas. This will be team four. But you're gonna start seeing it to be where he gets traded somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if they turn around and buy him out. Because at the end of the day, he's not going to help your team. He's already battling two injuries right now. So what are you going to do? It's a hot. You got too many players that's getting hurt from just running and slightly jumping onto the field and coming down. That's it.
All right.
What the hell? What happened? Oh, huh. Ah,
What happened?
okay. That's what it was. The Mariners got a new third baseman. They got Brandon Donovan from in a three-team deal with the Cardinals and the Rays. They probably went that route after Suarez re-signed with the Reds last night.
Gotcha. All right, let's get over to the NFL. Time's winding down.
Yeah.
Time is winding down, and we need to talk about it. Uh, I saw an article that's kind of opening the door to the potential of AJ going back to the Titans. And you let me know that in your opinion that you didn't think that should happen because Cam Ward is such a young quarterback. I can see that, but the other part where the other reason I could see it possibly working is Dayball is over there, and if he can tap into what Cam Ward is best at, like like the few times he's had the occasion, whether it's Josh Allen, Daniel Jones before he got hurt didn't look horrible. Before the offensive line tanked, didn't look horrible. He looked like he was going to be something, but then the offensive line went to crap. The rest of his time and with the Giants, and you didn't find out until he got to Indy what he was capable of being. So, but the one thing I do see as an upside is I don't believe that they have anybody else from a wide receiver standpoint that would be on the level of a AJ Brown. So as long as you could fix the offensive line, you got run game, so you won't have to fix it much. Because Pollard was clearly able to run. So the offensive line couldn't be that bad. Maybe if you can like work with the schemes a little bit, figure out what's what between the schemes and the offensive line. Obviously, you got some running game going. Maybe get a running back to come up behind Pollard that way because he is getting older. In case he gets hurt, have you another running back or two catch out of the backfield, run out of the backfield to give Pollard some rest so you can use him for 4 quarters. And if you have adequate receivers, the level of what Kansas City had before they went and got world beaters. If you can have AJ there, get you get you a tight end or two that would be the equivalent of like Dallas Goedert. Don't have to be nothing too big like what they got in Chicago with Komet and Loveland. It don't have to be that big. Don't have to be that nasty because that could potentially take away from uh uh could take away from making sure that as much as possible you're including him in the offense. Um, what do you think?
I realistically for me, AJ Brown needs to go to a team that's a wide receiver away from being a Super Bowl contender. I don't think putting him with even with Dayball there, that's still not changing the fact of they have no running game. The only way that they're going to be able to soften that running
Yeah,
game,
he did
yes,
play.
who Pollard and who else?
Oh, I don't know about who else, but they'll probably have to draft who else or grab somebody from free agency. But
I
Pollard
don't
was
for Tennessee needs to look at this is that this is not going to be a 1 year return to prominence. They're going to
right.
need a couple of years in order to build this. Bringing AJ Brown into that mix in a and I don't know if he's a free agent or it would be in a trade, depending on how many years that he has left on that contract, would not be would not be advantageous to AJ Brown for what AJ Brown was clamoring for during that time frame. Because
And that's what's unfortunately that's what's going to happen though. Technically his talent would work great in Buffalo. His attitude won't.
right, but that
So
but the other
so
part of
so it's
but the
like,
other part about that is that the only way to handle a diva is to check a diva. Nobody in Philadelphia really checked him. They just let him. They just said it was AJ being AJ. Nobody said AJ. This is what the game plan is. Shut the fuck up and sit down. And if you don't like it, there's a door. Sit. You can sit out. We won't pay you. You can just sit your ass out.
yeah, and then and not a problem with that theory is that is that what if doing that turns him in the Chad, then you just wasted your money for a potential talent. And you know me, I'm not saying I agree with you that that's what needs to be done,
Right.
but
I'm saying that for Philly because Philly. You gotta think about it. When it came down to what with all his antics for Philly, what did Philly get out of it? They didn't even make it out their first playoff game. After being the reigning defending Super Bowl champs, they lost at home. And what did he do in that game? Absolutely nothing. So it's pretty much like he was not freaking there anyway.
yeah,
So you can sit there. The difference between a T.O. and his antics, the difference between a Chad and his antics was even up until the point to where they left their teams, they were still producing even though they were still being a diva. AJ this season did not have. Let me pull up AJ's stats. This was not one of AJ's
I
best seasons.
I understand what his stats was, but um while
That
I
was
do while I do look at him as I believe that those comparisons wouldn't work for the simple fact that with Chad's problem was his mouth, and when it came to other teams, he had an ego issue, and he may have been part of the issue of what was going on. The other issue that nobody really wants to talk about that was going on with Palmer because, like we talked about, that 2010 season, and I literally went week to week to make sure I knew what I was seeing. Every interception that Palmer threw, he was throwing to either Chad or he was throwing to T.O. Anybody else, he was on the money.
mm-hmm.
But he knew that they wanted the ball. He knew that and he knew that they was gonna work his last nerve. That's why I laughed when I found out that the Bengals was even getting T.O. because it's like you already got a problem in Chad. What the hell you bringing T.O. over here for?
And okay, hold on. I get you. I get that. I didn't pull up his stats for his career, right?
Yeah,
And I'm looking at AJ Brown's. Now, remind you, we in an era where you got Jamar, Jefferson, Puka Nakua, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Shoot, you can even throw Devontae Adams this season with leading the league in touchdowns in there for it. This is his seventh season that he's coming out of the league in.
Mm-hmm.
This was his. This was actually his third. This season alone was his third best in receptions,
Mm-hmm.
but it was his second to worst receiving yards, second to worst yards per average, and tied for his second for worst touchdowns in a season. Now, you want to be the diva, right? You want to be the diva because you want the ball in Philadelphia. If you look at his 4 seasons in Philadelphia, he's only had one season where he had above 90 catches, and that was 2023. He's only had 2 seasons where he was over 1,400 yards. That was his first 2 years there.
Mm-hmm.
He's only had one season that he had over 8 touchdown catches in the season. That's it.
Yeah.
So your stats do not equate to you acting like a diva.
And context is important. Uh, um,
But you have to have the substance to try to act. You. That's why I said what I
and
said.
that's why a lot of players don't really reach their potential, aka they end up without a ring, even if they do have good stats. And the one issue with him is he was in Tennessee. What quarterback did he have that was anything close to
But the
to
crazy part about that
to
is
Jalen
that
Hurts?
right. But the crazy part about that though is that he had better stats in Tennessee than he had in Philly.
Right. And I feel and I feel like this is the issue. Like we was talking about during the season. If everybody ain't on the same page, it ain't gonna look it don't matter how good you are.
No,
It,
and
it it's
they.
it's it's gonna look like it's gonna look like monkey crap. Now the one thing that we knew when he was in Tennessee, the offensive line and them not being completely right played a huge part in what was going on with Tannehill, because when they were able to halfway keep him upright, they won games. But
Mm-hmm.
but that was a problem. Most of the time they couldn't keep him upright, which means he couldn't fully focus on getting the ball downfield, which with Tannehill, he was a journeyman. You got to keep him upright. And
It
that's
just
that's now being proven that you have to keep these guys upright. You have to make it where they can trust their line, no matter what. So what, they're not a Brady. So what, they're not a Peyton. If you brought them into the league and you actually put in effort and set a standard good enough to where um like another thing that Sam Darnold had to fix. Now, obviously, you have to work with you have to fix their personal mechanics. You can't get them to fix their personal mechanics if they go hike and they are already worried about who gonna hit them.
mm-hmm.
We done talked about there's too much having to go through your head for you to have to worry about your offensive line. That's why the players that have more confidence in their offensive line and they can keep their eyes downfield and looking around within them few seconds that they have, and also got to factor in how many receivers that they have that they supposed to be trying to look for. That's too much going on to not trust your line. That's already too much going on. Now, to me, AJ and Jalen were an implosion waiting to happen because of we know how AJ is when he's not getting the ball. Now, if Jalen feels more comfortable, whatever we do, however we do, as long as we win, that's what's more important. He's not e- he's not worried about his personal numbers. He's worried about the win. He's not worried about throwing 400 yards, 5,000 in a season. He's worried about efficiently doing what he needs to do to win. Him and AJ were on the collision course. And that's going to be the problem wherever you send him. Wherever you send him, they're going to have to understand. When it
Yeah.
comes to the passing game, AJ has to be it. So unless he goes to LA, I mean, not LA, Las Vegas. Sorry, old school brain fart. Unless he goes to the Raiders or unless he goes to a Tennessee or somewhere else where, yeah, you got some receivers, but they're not better than the caliber of AJ. So he gonna know, and everybody gonna know when that ball go back. We know where it's going. Now, can we have some guys that are good enough to keep the defense distracted to where he's not being double teamed?
And that's the other part of it.
And
Because
that's going to be the challenge for the team that's bringing him in.
right, because at the end of the day, you're not going to sit there and say realistically, you're not going to turn around and you can't sit there and say, well, wherever he goes better have an adequate number two. They have to. Because if you don't have an adequate number two to be able to offset the double teams that's going to go his way for it, it's not going to matter. He's going to be because he's going to start complaining. Well, that quarterback can't get me the ball, and that's why I said it needs to be a veteran. It can't
And
be a rookie that's going to sit there if the rookie starts keying in on them and they're throwing picks because that's their number one, or they're not trying to look away from it in order to grasp the offensive scheme, especially with a new offensive scheme coming in to play with it. You're going to lock into where you're going to feel your home run target is. And if you're getting double teamed and you don't have a number two for them to go to, you're setting yourself up for the exact same arguments that it began to fester in Philadelphia. And it's just gonna be a
I mean,
different team in a different time frame.
you can send him to Baltimore, but you got to get rid of Zay.
That's the problem. This is what we're going through right now is the exact problem with what happens when you're being a diva at the wrong freaking time. You have nowhere
Mhm.
to go. You really don't. Because you have to understand it from this standpoint. Almost a third of the league is changing coaches, which means that a third of the league is changing OCs. A third of the league already has quarterbacks that are on their first contract with their teams, or
Mhm.
they're getting ready to draft a new quarterback.
And
None of the teams that is established is going to bring you in. They're not.
and that's why I bring up Tennessee. This is why I bring up Las Vegas. Maybe
But
he
they
could go to Arizona.
but
Um
they all
uh
got new coaches. That's the whole problem.
Chargers.
The
He could
Chargers
go
ain't going. They're not going. Harbaugh's not. He gonna be in purgatory because you got to think about it. Harbaugh passed the ball with the Chargers more than he ever wanted to because he had no running game.
true.
So if he gets Hampton and DK Dobbins all J.K. Dobbins all no Dobbins is in
Denver.
Denver. If I forgot who the other running back they had that got hurt. If he gets their running backs back and they're healthy, he's not going to be passing the ball all like that. That's what got them
True.
start rolling in the first place. The
True.
Raiders, the Raiders, yes, you can bring you bring Clint Kubiak in there to be your coach, and but he's coming in with a brand spanking new, fresh out the can quarterback with
You
an
can't send
offensive
him to
line that's
Miami.
already beat that's
Tampa
that
Bay don't need nobody.
nope.
Um, you send him to the Saints. I mean,
No, because the Saints already have Um, oh,
Olave.
yeah, and
Man.
they got a quarterback that's in his second year.
Mm. Send him to San Fran.
Possibly, possibly. But here's the problem with San Fran. San Fran is pretty much divaed out on wide receivers. You think they're gonna bring in some? You think they're gonna get rid of one headache in Ayuk and bring in another one?
True. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about Ayuk. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Hey, I'm trying to help out this genius. Send him to Chicago.
Nope. You already got a Dunzier, and the
True.
only thing,
Yeah. 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 Um, don't need him in Minnesota.
nope.
Let's see. He don't need him in Dallas because they already need to figure out what they're gonna do with Pickens.
Pickens, yep.
So let's see here. Washington.
No, you got what's we call it?
Hmm.
You got
Yeah.
McCall.
Uh, man, have we can't send him to Indiana? Indy?
Nope, because you got Pierce, and you got Pierce, Pierman, Pittman. You got Pierce and Pittman.
Okay. Uh, Houston?
Nope, because you got Tank Dell, and you already got Nico.
Hmm. Good Lord.
See what I mean? This is what I was
Well, no,
saying.
I'm aware of it, but like I said,
You cannot. The one thing about the
you
NFL, the one part about the NFL that a lot of people fail to realize
Jets.
is
Garrett Wilson. I know that they got a lot to clean up, but Garrett Wilson is not
that might be the only place, and that's purgatory in its own right.
right because they got to figure it out at quarterback.
Exactly.
The guys in New York is sitting up here talking about bringing in Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Uh,
That's what I'm saying. It's but
what's his face? Which I'm sorry, um, I like his brother. I he he I did like Tiki. I really did. But when
Rondé.
he intentionally threw shade at the Giants and it backfired in his face, that was granted, it came at the sacrifice of my Patriots. But that I still will never get it out of my mind that he was doing commentary uh and he was like, man, the Giants ain't going nowhere and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, and even I could like feel like the the I could feel the anger coming out of his commentary because a lot of the stuff that he was saying was and the crazy part was Coughlin was the one that helped him stop fumbling.
Yeah.
And he started feeling some kind of way. I can't remember the exact details of what it was about, but bottom line, they Tom Coughlin wasn't playing it and he got him up out of there. And I remember people questioning Coughlin doing that. And oh, you can question him all you want. He's got two Super Bowls. It's like He's got two Super Bowls, so you can question the man. Obviously, things didn't go that well when he was down in Jacksonville, but clearly he proved that, you give him at least that defense was definitely top number one, and then the offense I want to say was at least top 15. I'll look into it. We'll talk about it more next week, because that just as much as it hurts me to my heart, because they stopped the streak. But
It's just
um I
with
can talk about it. But yeah,
it's
I'm
just
like I said, I'm trying to find him some spots. I doubt that KC would want to I wonder if well, I
KC next
mean,
year. KC
Kansas
next
City might
they
be a spot.
might, but here's the problem. Kansas City, if Kansas City is smart, and I'm being realistic here, if Kansas City is smart and they are looking at this as a long term, let's get back to prominence. I'm not playing Mahomes next season. I'm giving that offensive line, I'm retooling that offensive line. I'm giving them a chance to gel. I'm finding out what I have as an offense outside of there, and I'm bringing in an adequate backup to start this team. And next season is a throwaway season
Hmm.
because the only way that you're going to get reps in order to build up start rebuilding that squad is to do it,
Carolina,
huh?
Carolina.
Nope. Ted
Okay.
McMillan,
Technically, yeah.
Ted McMillan, and the other one that popped up on the scene at the tail end of the season that became his what's it called number one.
Hmm. Wow. That, yeah. So basically, is Tennessee,
It's Tennessee, Kansas City if they want you, and go back to fucking Philadelphia. That's it.
The Jets,
Yep,
and
and the Jets.
and I still say Vegas has to be on the table.
Vegas can be on the table, but you have to realize you're not going to get what you've been clamoring for when you go to Vegas. You're not. You're
And
going out
then,
to Vegas. You're going to Vegas so you're going out there to where two of the top 10 defenses in the NFC, in the AFC, are in the West.
mhm,
So, dude, you're not about to get your stats. If you about getting me the ball, if you TO get me the damn ball, it ain't gonna be out there
right, and
because you
then
better, and especially with, and here's the other reason why you are not a three step slant, quick slant, 5 step, 5 yard in route runner. You are a go ball runner. That means your offensive line has to be able to block in order for you to get to that line. And
he
that Raiders
could
offensive line is not good
do
enough
it.
to block.
He can do it. They just don't call him to do it much. They always waited until he started complaining, then they started calling them shorter routes to basically get him the ball. I think he can do it.
He
It's
would have to
just
do
that,
that from the jump because you
right.
don't, because if
And
not, your quarterback is going to
that's
have
on the
schemes like
offensive coordinator.
right.
If you're gonna make sure he gets the ball,
But that also
because that's what they had to do in Philly.
right. But the only difference with that argument is that I can see if it's an offensive coordinator with an established quarterback that knows how to read the offense. You're trying to install all of it at once, and then trying to turn around and have him do that.
Well,
And you
welcome to the
also, and
NFL.
here's the other reason, you're right. And here's the other reason why he's probably not going to hate it. You already have two tight ends on the line. One of them can line up and be the number one wide receiver.
Mhm.
So if they gonna run those routes.
Yeah,
So you're gonna sit there and be like, I ain't getting the ball. No, because you know what? Those two catch whatever that's thrown within a 5 mile radius, and they get yak. You
could
have to get the ball and hope that you can break away.
couldn't him being there hopefully help motivate Harrison down in Arizona?
Nope.
I mean,
I don't
granted,
think so.
I started to mention them, but then I remembered that
I
they kind of need to figure out they quarterback situation.
They need to figure out their quarterback. They need to figure out their quarterback situation, and they also need to come to the realization that Marvin Harrison Jr. was an overrated bust.
But
No, no, no.
yeah, but if you sitting up here having faith in the quarterback that ain't it,
But your
that
backup quarterback was leading the league in passing, and you still weren't doing anything. Marvin Harrison Jr. This is the problem, and this is the problem that I was hoping didn't show its head, but it's showing its head. For all of the hype that was heaped on Marvin Harrison Jr. while he was at Ohio State, the workhorses was Smith and Jigba and Ibuka, Olave. All of them were the workhorses behind him. And they're showing that they were the workhorses.
do
He was
do
just that, he was the hype.
do you think that do you think that ended up being his Achilles heel? That
No,
like
no,
and what I mean is this, it's like because we saw him at Ohio State, he did look like he was going to be a problem, but
right.
then he you sitting up there, you running, you got to get to your goal, right? And you running and you running and you running and you leaving everybody in the dust and everybody cheering you on, and then you get to your goal and then you like, okay, I'm here, it's easy street from here, not realizing, which hard to believe that with somebody like Marvin Harrison being your daddy, that this would happen, but
I
you're not,
wouldn't say that.
but you
I,
know,
I,
but you know that it happens if you mess around and get the big head. I don't care what sport you're playing. You mess around
yeah,
and get the
but
big head. You running. You get to the goal, and then you think that you're done. Also in relationships, you sit up there, you got a girl you want, and you going for it, and you going for it, and you going for it, and y'all walk that aisle, and then all of a sudden you go, okay, we married, time to slack off, and then you wondering why the relationship ain't working because you slacked off. No, you gotta keep marathoning, bruh. It don't stop just because you reach a certain point don't mean that you completely stop or that you slow down. You go from being the rabbit to being the tortoise. It just no. You got to keep it going. Yeah, you can slow down a little bit, start to pace
I ain't
yourself.
slow down
You
because
can
here's
slow
the
down and pace yourself. Give yourself a little bit and when I say slow down, I mean obviously they got to get used to the difference between college and pro. Which you still running, you just slowing down enough so that you can gauge everything and keep going. So you just you kind of take it from a 10 to like 9.5, no lower than a 9. So that
but
to give yourself the ability to look around and see what's going on, see the adjustment, see that you're still you were worth the draft capital. But I I obviously what he's shown up to now, I can't completely argue your point. But like I said, Kyler was not it. And,
no, I'm
and
not.
I want to see and I want to see if between the coach and the quarterback, if there's somebody that can hopefully help him reignite the juices.
But
Because the one thing that I will agree with that a lot of players say, and I agree with I agree with the premise, and I'm at least willing to hold the door open, and also give it a chance. If like somebody that went to the Giants, Sam Darnold, perfect example. He went to the
Hmm.
Jets. I knew he wasn't gonna do nothing with the Jets.
Hmm.
He goes to Carolina. We know what Carolina is.
Right.
No. And then he went to Minnesota, and the first thing I said was, if they can fix their line, Sam, this is your moment. They fixed it. Unfortunately, the injury bug attacked them going down the stretch. So then they had the thing with Aaron and the thing with what do we do about JJ? So then they kind of doing him like Pittsburgh did Fields and they like yeah we're looking at other options and then Sam was like, well, I don't want to be considered another option. I want somebody to love. I want somebody to love me. And
Hmm.
Seattle said, hey, we love you. Come here. Yeah, Gino. Yeah. Yeah. We gave you enough chances. This relationship ain't working out. Kick rocks. Darnold, come on. We love you, baby. Come on. We love you. Look at us. We love you. They in the Super Bowl.
And
And this was the same Sam Darnold that everywhere he went, that wasn't completely what needed to be. People were doing the see this was a waste. Why do teams keep but you got to look, that's why you got to look at everything, and you can call the actions what they are, which is what you're
hmm.
doing. You're
Hmm.
calling it according to the way he's playing right now. He looks like he was a waste.
Not just that though. It's not just that. And this is the reason why I said that.
Okay.
When you start hearing the rumors about his attitude, and that attitude
Yeah.
started back from even back at the combine with the with the diva-ish attitude with that. And like
Yeah.
you mentioned about his dad. What a lot of people fail to realize was his dad was just as much of a diva, if not more, when he was in Indianapolis. That's part of the reason why Reggie Wayne did not stay there that long when they was that tandem. And that's part of the reason why some of the antics that happened afterwards that his father got involved with outside of the law was not shocking with that. So that diva presence, that entitled presence was already there. Now, when you get to Ohio State as a highly recruited wide receiver, and you're in the wide receiver room with Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, the only one that has not lived up to pretty much part of that hype that came out there is Garrett Wilson, and that's because he's in New York purgatory.
Right.
But
And
but
yeah,
even but
go ahead.
you also you're in that room where iron sharpens iron. But if you already think that you're stainless steel, Cutco cutlery, I can slice through Ginsu level for there. You're not gonna think that other iron that's in there with you is gonna sharpen you anymore. And what ends up happening is that where you're sitting up here at the same type of cut level, they're getting sharper. And they didn't came into this league and then has shown that they're sharper than you, even though they never got the full regard. They and Smith and Jigba got all the catches in there for it because he was doing every single route. He was doing the 3 yard ends, the 5 yard ends, the go routes, everything else from there. You were
And
the deep threat.
and he paced and he paced himself. He paced himself just enough to get so good at it that now he leaving people in the dust.
He's leaving people in the
And,
dust and it looks effortless. He's
right.
not thinking, he's just doing it. But that comes from doing the reps and putting the all into the reps leading up into that point.
And that's what I was describing when I said pace yourself a little bit. His first year, he was there with DK. He was being
He
used
was there
more
with
like
DK and Cooper.
yeah. And
No, not Cooper.
no, because
No,
Cooper, because
no. Who was? No, it was the other. Who was the other one that was there?
Tyler Lockett.
Yeah,
Tyler Lockett and Curse was all still there when he showed up. So so but that's what I meant is like don't think you too big for the situation. Kind of take it down. You go on 10, you at a 10, bring it down to like 9.5, 9, so that you can gauge the new landscape, make your adjustments, then
and
then
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 figure out what you're gonna do.
then turn it back up. Hopefully you go past 10. Maybe you can hit it up to 15, which right now, say what you want. That's what he messed around and did. He was at 10 coming in, tweaked it down to 9, and then he just shifted it up. He up at like 15, if not
Right.
20.
And
And, and
out of that draft class, he's pretty much I would want to say that he might be the worst out of that draft class right now. Because Malik Neighbors had already established himself as the number one with the Giants before he got hurt.
right,
Rome Odunze is the number one in Chicago.
if he could get
If he
more
can stay
consistent with his catching.
but more consistent, but he's still their number one.
Yeah,
Brian Thomas Jr. is the number is one of the top two down there in Jacksonville. And then you got Lad McConkey, that's pretty much the number two in San Diego. They always drafted in that draft. And Marvin Harrison Jr. still has translated into the NFL with that same, I can barely pay attention. You got the dropsies and everything else in the NFL, and you were a top 5 pick. That's not a good look. And
mm-hmm.
it's a worse look when your father was pretty much the most reliable pass receiver in the game, and you as his son are out there and you got cases of dropsies every time you got the ball coming towards you, or you're not focused enough in order to look the ball into your hands and catch the hands. You're not living to your potential. Now, will I say the crazy part about all of those wide receivers that I mentioned? All of them got a quarterback that's pretty much learning on the go with them as they go along. You had an established quarterback in there, right, wrong, or indifferent. No, right, wrong, or indifferent. He had been in the league for more years. And
Okay, yeah,
so you had an established quarterback who was still getting you the ball,
yeah,
but you weren't catching it.
yeah.
And then you got a backup that come in there after your quarterback got hurt because he was playing too many video games instead of playing the game. You got a backup that comes in here that's been a journeyman all his life, and he looks like he is pretty much QB1 from the start, to where they told your other quarterback, go ahead and keep on playing. Call of Duty came out. And let him keep rolling, and you're still doing it.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, yes, a change of scenery might help. I won't never say a change of scenery won't help, but the difference between comparing him with Sam Darnold was Sam Darnold never showed the diva side of him, even when he was drafted. He was always eager to learn. It was just the circumstances that he was in made him to where he didn't thrive in that. That's the same way you look back at Geno Smith from when Geno Smith first came out all the way up into what he is. Geno Smith, the second half of his career, is 10 times better than what he was the first half of his career.
And which is sad, because compared to everybody else that he came in around, that's now kind of, that was considered like a bust, a waste of time to have as a quarterback, like I brought up to you a few months ago. And people have to understand that paying attention to details is important.
Right.
9 times out of 10, if you have to ask, and I'm not a betting person. I'm going to try to work on becoming a betting person, because I need more money and I'm getting too old and I'm ready to retire. I'm ready to retire from all this hustle and bustle that ain't equating to what I to my true potential. Anyway, if you were to place a bet on quarterbacks between a Geno Smith and a Sam Darnold, and the likelihood of which one is going to rise up from their negative, which one has a better chance of rising up out of their original negative reputation, You've been watching a lot of football. You technically know the answer to this.
It would have
And
been Geno Smith.
I would have I would have bet on Sam because
Oh no, oh yeah, I would have bet on Sam Darnold. I wouldn't have bet on Geno Smith to do it
and
because
and
I
and
didn't have Geno Smith.
and the reason why that is, if you really pay attention to it, most of the time, as much as much as you want to say it, whether you want to bring in the fact that they scrambling quarterbacks or just bring just go to their quarterbacking
Mm-hmm.
and throwing the ball. They get with a better team, the likelihood that they're going to start to do better than they were goes up on a Sam Darnold, on a Baker Mayfield, than it will with a Geno Smith. And that is part of the reason while people sitting up here wanting to pull the card, yes, everybody deserves a chance, but you're also got to pay attention to they're going to pay attention to history. They're going to pay attention to the numbers, the chances. Is it unfair? Yes, it's unfair. But that is the exact reason why ego wise, swag wise, you 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 want your swag, use your swag when you at home.
Mm-hmm.
When you at work, you don't use your swag. Use your talent.
Right.
Don't bring cocky, bring confidence. Let them see that you know the difference. Now, the one thing that I will give Jalen, I want to see if they do mess around and they get rid of either just AJ or just or AJ and Devontae. One, they better be careful the wide receivers that they're bringing in and make
Yep.
sure that they're more team oriented, like him, like Jalen and Saquon. Two, as much as I can respect that he don't really care about the numbers, his personal numbers, that's you. If if you have players on your team that have talent, just tweak it a little bit, bro.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that will still not make any sense, we know when he's throwing for a lot of yards, at least 3,000, over 3,000, close to 4,000. We know he can throw.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing can explain other than egos what happened this year. Egos stopped a lot of stuff this year because talent wise, that should we shouldn't have saw what we saw.
No.
Makes sense when you see it in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make sense when the players that are playing were just in a Super Bowl.
Right.
And you proved everybody wrong. They said if they put everything on Jalen, the Eagles is going to go down. And just like the previous years, because people getting convenient amnesia. Let's not forget he went to another Super Bowl, and he was throwing.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't win, but he was throwing.
It's
The year that they went 10-1, he was throwing before everything went downhill. He was throwing. The man knows how to throw, but there's a chemistry issue there.
yeah.
There's definitely a chemistry issue going on. Everybody got to be on the same page. You got two of your star players that are just like, look, I'm not worried about all these accolades. I want rings. I want championships. You better be bringing in other people that are on that same page.
Same page. You got to. You got to. And I think what this offseason showed a lot of teams, right, wrong, or indifferent, in the blink of an eye, a third of you can be out of a job. And it doesn't matter if you had a crappy year or you went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're only going to have certain fools, Cincinnati, that keeps things the status quo.
Now, here's okay. So here's what I'll say about that. Out of out of all the veteran coaches that got fired, which there was Harbaugh, there was Tomlin,
Harbaugh, Tomlin, Stefanski, McDermott,
Stefanski,
uh,
Stefanski, and who else?
McDermott,
McDermott. Yeah, McDermott.
uh, you
Well,
can
that
call Pete
one.
Carroll one.
Well, yeah, that.
Gannon. Who else got fired this year?
Uh,
Uh,
well, for me, it was. I don't really count McDermott because had last year not happened, he would have been fired. He would have been fired last year. So I was not shocked at all that he got fired. Matter of fact, I was telling you he was going to get fired.
yeah,
And so out of Harbaugh, Tomlin, and Zach and Stefanski, I Zach would have had to go before even
Tomlin.
Tomlin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because if people are getting fired for having a level of talent, I can use Harbaugh more than I can use Tomlin on that one.
Go
If
ahead.
if if, if he can get fired because the level of talent ain't ain't making it to the AFC Championship and to the Super Bowl. As much as I understand not wanting to have to pay two coaches, I get that. You owe it to your fan base that to figure out what's going on and get rid of any and whoever ain't stepping up. Not just the the DC. That's a clean house move. You going on your third year not making the playoffs. Third, with the level of talent that you have, and even though you did acquiesce and you did keep some people, at least one or two of them, maybe you shouldn't have. One for sure, so that you could have tried to see who or what you could try to bring in or what you could work out. Um, and at the end of the day, it's like the coach, there's no way that you can look at the
Hey,
Cincinnati
Google.
Bengals since they went to the Super Bowl
How
and
many seasons has
say
Joe
that there was a reason why Zach should have kept his job.
How many seasons has Joe Burrow been in the league?
Mm,
Hold on, I'm looking it up for stat rise.
yes, yes, got to be 5 or 6, right?
6 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to understand this. And this is this is what bothers me. I'm on Stat Muse right now, so give me a second for it to come.
Okay.
All right, so why, oh why do my Bengals do this to me? Joe Burrow was drafted in the first round in 2020. So he just finished his sixth season.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals have in the AFC North alone the third best winning percentage over the past 6 seasons. They are 50, 49, and 1. Only Cleveland has 5 fewer losses over the past 6 seasons than the Bengals. So, where does Jay's argument go here from this? If a team that in the past 6 years went 62 and 39, and a team that went 60, 40, and 1 fired their head coaches, they have been to the playoffs almost every season during these 6 year span, or had a winning record every season over this 6 year span. Oh, by the way, hey Google, what is Joe Burrow's win-loss record in his career? So, out of the 50 wins that the Bengals have had over the past 6 seasons, right? How many of them do you think Joe Burrow was the quarterback for?
Not that many.
That he was the quarterback for?
Um, 30.
Joe Burrow in his career is 43, 33, and 1. So let's do the simple math in our heads, folks. If Joe Burrow, as your quarterback, has gotten you 43 out of the 50 wins that you've had since he's been drafted, that means without Joe Burrow, you have a record of 7 wins, 16 losses, and a tie. Now, oh my God, if you only got 7 wins in the equation of 24 games, what would normally happen to you?
Yeah, you're fired.
But because good old Joe is there, you have a chance of keeping your job. To put that in perspective,
That that the context of them being cheap would be fitting to put it here because
right?
it was brought up even this year. They said he still got a year left on his contract. So in other words, uh, uh for Zach, you got one more year to prove that you're worth keeping or you are gone.
Joe Burrow
So
alone has a better record over the past 6 years per winning percentage wise than the Cleveland Browns as a franchise.
yeah,
You
and
cannot, you can, and they fired their head coach.
yeah, that one was a scapegoat situation.
Right. But either way, they fired their head coach. They fired 2 coaches over the past 6 years.
Yeah.
And he's won coach of the year.
Yeah, yeah. Which is something in Cleveland. That's
Right. So you cannot. So when I sit here and I look at this and I scratch my eyeballs out every single time, and I hear Nick Lachey with his song that he made that sat there and it just made me want to claw my ears out, because at the end of the day, the problem with this whole situation is that no matter how much clamoring any of the fans will do, until you put a package together with the ownership group that is willing to try the hostile takeover, it doesn't really matter.
yeah, they put it on a billboard,
They put it
which
on a billboard. They made a song.
I haven't heard
Look
the
up Nick
song.
Lachey's Cincinnati song.
All right. I'll do that when the show's over.
But
But
it's to a point to where I've said it before and I'll say it again. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking that there's going to be a different result.
Yeah.
I stopped being insane a long time ago. I know what the result's going to be. I just am happy when the exception comes to the norm. I get excited. I get downright giddy because the fact of the matter is this: I'm a Joe Burrow fan. I'm a Jamar Chase fan. I'm a T Higgins fan. They go somewhere else. I'll get their jerseys elsewhere. I get Cincinnati jerseys, but here's the thing: none of the Cincinnati jerseys I own has a player's name on it. It has my own. Why? Because I believe in me, and Cincinnati is my home. So, what's the best way to rep my city? Is to put the faith of myself on its back.
I've always wanted to do that with like various teams, like get the jersey and put my name on the back,
Oh,
and then use my high school, use my high school number.
that it's so much. It makes it to where, because here's the reason why. In this day and age, you buy a jersey, and yes, if you buy it with American Express and they get traded, you can trade it in and get your money back for it or get the updated jersey for it.
Damn.
Yes, that is a rule on Fanatics. If you purchase a jersey with an American Express card and that player gets traded on any league, you can get the updated jersey replacement for free or at a discount.
Wow.
But if I'm paying for the personalization, if I'm gonna pay for a jersey, it's gonna be for mine. Why? Because unless the jersey changes, that bitch ain't never going out of style.
Yeah.
And I will get, and the only jerseys that I will get for players outside of my own is damn near they better be that there was a superstar year, like the Barkley one was a gift to me. The AJ Green one was a gift to me for the Bengals. That's the only two jerseys that I own that are NFL jerseys that are of a current team. Everything else, I got Burrow's college jersey. I'm gonna go back and go get Chase's college jersey, but I want that one in the purple. But the rest of it, no, nope. I will never ever own a NFL jersey for a current player. No,
Mm.
I wouldn't. Because here's the thing: unless I know for a fact that if they're showing out and they're gonna be synonymous with that team, yeah. But if it's just a player that I like in the moment, and then they get traded, and then I gotta go get that jersey because I still like that player, and then they get traded or they get released from that team, and I gotta go get the other jersey for it, that becomes a
Fair.
little bit costly.
Fair. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said. I technically there's a lot of jerseys that I would love to own of players that I liked. Even if they weren't on the team I was rooting for at the time.
Yeah,
And I was like, man, I could hit the lottery and I would still go broke.
bruh.
Trying to do that for the NBA and for just the NBA, just the in between the NBA and the NFL by itself, I could probably be broke and still not have all the jerseys that I wanted. Um, I might be wrong, but just thinking about the price of everything and everything that I know I'm gonna want to do, it just wouldn't be. It would be better to like create my business and then the business you use the business to like get the stuff, which is something I've contemplated. Um, so I just gotta get the business part started. Anyway, uh, yeah, I can see that there are some players that I do like. Do I like them enough to buy their jersey? I can kind of I there's like a very chosen few. There are some people whose jerseys I would not mind owning. Like I wouldn't mind getting Barkley's. And quarterback wise, I don't think. think that I have a quarterback right now that I like Darnold. Purdy's okay. Darnold's okay. Ever since Brady retired, and I still got to get I got to get me different versions of the Patriots ones for him. And Fanatics sells his even though he didn't use it, they sell his I want his college jersey and I want his baseball jersey um that he never actually used. Uh
Yeah, okay.
and that's for
See, I
Montreal. I'll have
and
to try to find a Montreal Expos hat to go with it though.
see, and I'm the type of person to where if I'm going back now, like realistically, like these guys just put out there this past weekend, they got the actual batting shirt jersey and the actual um replica jersey for Dion at their locations now. The Mitchell and Ness ones, where they selling those again. Baseball jerseys is the worst ones to get because the actual ones is automatically over $300. And
Right.
yeah, I'll get the batting. I'll get the batting jersey. That's a couple of that's just 100. I'll get that one. I don't need the authentic one. The only person I got authentic baseball jerseys for, again, that's not me, is freaking Griffey. That's it. And that was the Griffey ones when he was here. I'll get those. Other than that, nah, I'm not spending it. I am a quintessential. My biggest advertisement for everything that I do is for me. Put my name on the back. That's what it's for.
Mm.
Ooh, okay. So they are tearing up stuff on WWE already.
Yeah. What you knew did I had a ball
I
on my
loved
show.
it.
I had a ball talking about it on my podcast yesterday because I actually when I was taking notes, I actually took notes of who came in, when they came in, who put out who, and that was the obviously I didn't literally go through it, but me and Tasha kind of
Oh,
we
Femi.
yeah, Obafemi, people were trashing the WWE for Brock. Brock, he got put out while Jay was still trying to get down to the ring, which confused me because I was writing down who put out who, and I started noticing people was missing, and I'm like, wait, what? What
He
happened?
was between who was it? Between Obafemi, Brock, the whole mess with the vision. That was hilarious. Oh my god. When I saw that, I was like, oh, oh
I
that
need to
was
know
that.
if Buddy Matthews lost weight.
That's who you think it is?
That picture that they took, whoever beard that is, I know it ain't. They said it's Finn's. It's not Finn because the color of the beard don't match. It's
I
not Finn.
I can't. I did not zoom in order to go look. I didn't want to spoil it.
They 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 uh they they posted a picture because somebody posted a picture and said that it was Benoit, which had people on the internet pissed. It's like how is it Benoit and he how is it Benoit and this and he completely dead? It's like but what that tells me is that as years go on, there are people that are softening on Benoit, which is cool. Um, uh, I will always respect his career, even if I don't respect what he did outside of it. Same thing with Hogan. I'm gonna give him the same treatment. My issue with Hogan is if we ever met, would he be being cool with me because he wants to, or is he being cool with me because he don't want to mess up his brand.
And yeah,
That's my question with Hogan. I will never disrespect what he's done. He's done stuff. It did entertain me. I'm not going to pretend that it did not because of what he said. But at the end of the day, people got to understand. It's like I'm not going to ignore that. I'm not going to ignore that and act like it didn't happen. Just like Chris Benoit, I'm not going to ignore what he did and act like it didn't happen. I'm not going to trash his career, but Bill Cosby, same thing. R. Kelly, I, I still like his music. The man made good music, but he did something
don't
that
listen to
was
it around kids.
that he did something that wasn't cool. So all right, it is what it is. Uh, you know you will always have certain reasons that maybe you don't trust the person in certain situations. Uh, Whatever it is. But yeah, I zoomed in on the color of the beard, and then I thought about it because they've been throwing around on the internet like, hey, what's going on with Buddy Matthews? It's taking him way too long to come back from his injury. And when I zoomed in on the beard, I'm sitting up here. I brought Finn up on my phone. I brought Logan Paul up on my phone. It's either it's either Logan because it's not it wasn't Theory, which was another thought. And I brought up Seth. His beard wasn't the color of the beard that I saw under it. Don't tell me because I haven't turned it on yet. I'm turning it on as soon as we get done. If they've already revealed it.
No, they
Um,
didn't reveal it.
Oh, okay, cool. But so yeah, and that made me think of Buddy Matthews. It could also be, and I just thought about this, seeing that he didn't show up last night, and he was supposed to have shown up to the he didn't show up Saturday night, should I say? And a lot of people were pissed. Did you watch the after show? Tasha
No.
was Tasha was pissed about the after show because you know how they do at College Day where they just let the fans yell out while they trying to do the show.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were,
That's what they've
they
gone
were
to.
Tasha can't stand that, and I'm like, well, they with ESPN now, dear, and that's what they allow when they allow the fans to get that close. They allow them to freely participate. And the fact that they were trying to hold an interview with Triple H while people were just screaming, Y2J, Y2J, you effed up, you effed up. And then they were calling out people's names that I believe were at the show and either booing them or cheering them, which was weird. I'm guessing that they must have came out after the show because
I don't know.
other than that, it didn't make any sense why they were randomly calling out names of people that were like at the event, whatever. So, um, but it was weird. But yeah,
The whole thing was the the show was good. I am not a fan of okay, and I'm not trying to say it to be facetious. I sent it to you during the fact of the matter. I understand you're chasing the money. Don't get me wrong. I understand it, but either you had to know the aesthetic of the LED lights was going to make it seem like some those seats were empty, or the fact of they were empty. Because I did not know until they said it at the end of it. When the Royal Rumble ended over in Saudi Arabia, it was 2 a.m. in the morning there. Remember, it started at 2 p.m. our time here. And you went for 4 hours.
I thought I heard what's his name say 8 a.m.
No, the show started at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
Right.
When they finished, when they were doing the fireworks show in there, it was 2 a.m. in the morning in Riyadh. So you started that show at 10 p.m. at night and went for 4 hours. If I'm living in Riyadh, ain't no fucking way I want to hear no daggone fireworks at 2 a.m. And every place, every skyscraper
Oh,
in there was shooting off
well,
fireworks.
well. I mean, their government works different, so you just gotta. It is what it is.
Right. I mean,
It is what it is. It's like, don't want to say the wrong thing there. They
hey,
don't.
this, I'm sick of this. Never mind.
Right. Right. So,
I like my career.
context.
Pretty much.
So, um,
Shoot them
so
all
yeah,
up. You want me to shoot them off for you? There you go. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. But that look, there was at times to where when they panned the crowd, you were questioning like, where's everybody?
At the beginning of the show, I have a feeling that they treated it like they do a lot of shows here. It's like at the start of it, you ain't gonna see everybody.
And that's a disservice. For me, I'm sorry. I would run the Royal Rumbles back to back, or at least put a opening match in front of the Royal Rumble in order to give a crowd in there for it. Because to give the women's a half full stadium for their or so long Royal Rumble, it wasn't a good look.
Yeah, yeah, because when I ended up running it back so that I could run back through and like look through stuff for notes purposes, I noticed that what I noticed was empty earlier in the show
Wasn't
wasn't
empty later.
wasn't empty by the time the men started.
No,
And
no.
it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, because and money as much as we're just gonna have to admit, as money becomes more of a thing in everything that entertains us, there's gonna continue to be nothing that we can do about uh the situation with how the people with all the money is basically gonna use their money. It's
Yeah,
easy it's easy for us to sit back and notice things and go, hey, you need to improve that. Hey, you need to improve that. And they're going to take the attitude of is like, well, it's my money. I was fully aware of what the downsides were going to be, and I was perfectly okay with it. So until y'all get to the point to where my bottom line starts talking to me and telling me I need to make some of the changes that y'all want, um, uh, your opinion is like an asshole. You have one. Have a nice day. I'll see you at the next pay-per-view, whether it be on TV or whether it be on TV or whether it be you actually being there paying for the seats. So
pretty much.
so yeah.
Hey,
Now let's go ahead and let's talk about it. Um, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Uh, I thought of something.
but you ain't.
I'm with you on the fact that I believe that Seattle will win, but the fact that of the defenses that they played and even played them in the elements and by hook or by crook, however it happened, the Patriots are in the Super Bowl.
True. True.
As much as I believe, and I'm gonna stick with what I said last week. I went with Seattle. The history of the Patriots, there's only one team that they played multiple times, and they won both times, and that was LA. They should have won both times with Philly, but I digress. Um, I wouldn't completely count them out.
I want to hear more about what's going on with Drake May's shoulder.
Yeah, his shoulder, yes, that will be important. But again, because of the level of defenses that they've already played up to this point, and
But
well,
I don't. The only reason why I give you the points about their defenses, but I don't feel it the same way is that I don't think that their defense has played an offense the caliber of Seattle's up to this point.
Yeah, that's the thing that makes me say I'm sticking with my pick that Seattle's gonna win.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's the only reason why. That's the main reason why I get with their defense, with New England's defense. I would sit there and say, yeah, I have no problem with that. But
no, Seattle's defense should have no problem.
right,
But what I'm
Seattle's defense shouldn't have no problem. New England's defense, I would have if New England's defense would have went up against a Bo Nix Denver Broncos team, I would have a little bit more hesitation. That offense was severely limited that they went up against, and it only got worse when the elements came down.
Yeah,
And so I don't think that I don't in a perfect setting, barring the earthquakes that's already hitting San Francisco this weekend, which is kind of this week. This is kind of weird. Uh, I don't think that New England realistically, even up into this run, the only offense that they ran against that was clicking like this was Buffalo's. Even Buffalo's was pretty much it was Josh Allen and whatever he could figure out against it, not a cohesive, balanced offense where it was run and pass, and you had to worry about all them threats. I want to see Smith and Jigma
they
against
need to
Christian
look for
Gonzalez.
they need to look for wide receivers in this offseason.
Yeah,
Um,
because Diggs, don't get me wrong, Diggs is proven that he could be a quality 1A or 1B. You still need a number one, or you need a number two and let Diggs be the number one.
yeah,
Because
but
right now you're trying.
with the Patriots, but especially with Brady better make sure that they have some receivers.
Oh, yeah.
They better make sure wherever you have to get it from. Now, make sure you keep Josh in mind. Make sure you keep the chemistry of the team in mind. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
bringing in a AJ unless you do like what Belichick did. And I still say that that's part of the reason why I cannot anybody that's backing TO. Oh, daggone it, totally forgot about it. We'll do it next week. TO and there was a comparison. Like I said, we'll do them next week, and there was one for the NBA. We'll do it next week that I forgot about too. Uh, you can't be bringing in TOs. You can't be bringing in AJs, unless they understand. Which can you imagine what it would have been like? What year? What it would have been like had TO gone to the Patriots instead of going to the Bills?
I always, in the back of my head, said that T.O. missed his chance of having his Randy Moss year by not going to the Patriots. I honestly think T.O. would have went to the if T.O. would have went to the Patriots, T.O. would have been able to probably accomplish what Randy couldn't and got the ring.
But that's the thing. If I'm not mistaken, Randy was still there.
Was he? Hmm.
Yeah, about to let me look. Yeah, he was still there. Yes, he was still there. So, let's see. So, quarterback Tom Brady, running backs Lawrence Maroney, Sammy Morris, Kevin Falk. Wide receivers Randy Moss, Wes
That's well,
Welker, Julian Edelman.
Edelman.
And
Yep.
they still had Ben Watson at that time. And you know Watson was cooking people.
Was the tight end. Yep.
Watson was cooking people. So
But that makes me
imagine it.
wonder. Hold on. So then that year in 2009 that he went to them, why didn't he go to them?
Because Belichick said we'll take TO, but we doing a zero tolerance policy.
and he didn't want the zero tolerance policy. He wanted to still be TO. He signed a
He
1 year,
went
six
to
point.
the Bills. He went
He
to the Bills. And they still had Will Fork, and they still had Richard Seymour, and they still had Mayo, even though he had injury issues. Adalius Thomas, Brandon Merriweather was still some good. Sanders and Bodden as defensive backs wasn't bad.
he signed a
Hey,
1 year, $6.5 million deal, had 55 receptions.
yes, yes. And that's when I knew, and that's why when I found out that Shannon dumb behind, you don't see the writing on the wall. Let him let the chips fall where they may.
No,
Let the chips fall where they may when it came to getting him. I understand trying to have a brother back and save him from himself. I get it. But he could have saved himself.
he didn't want to.
And matter of fact, hold on. What years did the Patriots lose to the Giants?
Oh, oh 06, 2010.
Oh, nah, he would have missed those years. It was 2007 to 2007 and 2012, according to.
So it was oh 06 and 11 was the two seasons. The Super Bowls was the oh 06 and there was this the 2006 season was the undefeated season.
Right. And then
And then in 2011 was the catch was the Tyree catch.
but if he could have stayed,
He was out the league by then.
and if he had went to the Patriots instead of going to the Bills,
I think the Bills was his last stop, wasn't it, before he retired?
no.
Who did he go after that?
Uh,
It wasn't the Bengals, I didn't think.
yeah. Well, no.
It couldn't have been.
Yeah.
I thought the Bengals was
Yeah.
before
Yeah, it
that.
was. Because 2010 was his last one. He was with the Bengals.
Wow, he did retire after that season.
Yeah. Well,
No, no, he
nobody
went
else
to
wanted him.
Seattle. He played Seattle in 2012.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, mm.
Wow. Wow.
So that means that, so let's put this into context. If he does that, does Randy still stick his foot in his mouth and end up out knowing what he could have that tandem? And I know that tandem's fun. Granted, it was on my video games, but I've won plenty of video game Super Bowls with Randy on one side and T.O. on the other.
You never know.
It's like, my God, it just, dude, people thought they were mad before. If T.O. had gone over there
Oh, you gotta
and
be
been
kidding.
able to keep his head straight through 2012, mm, 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 mm. All because he didn't want to toe the line.
Nope.
And God, I wish I could meet him because I want to know. I really want to know now because I know you know how you've been saying something and you know you're right, but you didn't really do the research to make sure you were right. It's like I actually did not look into this until now to officially know what I knew. Bro, that was they was getting at least two. With Tom Brady throwing, Wes Welker, you wasn't stopping Wes Welker. Edelman wasn't that consistent, but you had But you had Sammy Morris catching out of the backfield, Falk catching out of the backfield, Moron.
My God, it makes sense. I just caught all of this. It makes all the sense in the world. That's the reason why he quit playing.
What's that?
So he tore his ACL in the offseason after the Bengals season. He tore his ACL. The Bengals went from 10-6 in 2009 to 4-12 in 2010. They decided not to resign him. Then during the offseason, he tore his ACL and underwent surgery in April of 2011. Then he had that organized workout for a televised organized workout in October, and none of the NFL teams came to it.
Because nobody was trying to. That was the beginning of.
That was the end of the end.
Well, no. What I'm saying is that was the beginning of people saying, you know what? If you a headache and your ego outweighs your talent, it's over.
Right. Because he went to the Indoor Football League in 2011 and
Yeah,
signed a six-figure deal, and they cut him. Huh, they cut him
yeah,
on my birthday that year.
yeah. You want to know why they cut him, and you want to know whose team he was playing for? Take a guess.
Jerry.
Yep. Jerry got him on that team, made him part owner, allowed
Yep.
him to be the player. And you want to know
And
what
then
got him kicked off the team?
they said lack of Owens, a lack of effort both on and off the field.
He would details are important. He tried to pull a Phil Jackson. The majority owner said, okay, you only have to play you only have to play home games. The deal breaker was he wasn't willing to do the make a wish stuff because he didn't want to be around sick
Sick
kids.
children.
And the owner said, you know what, get out.
Wow. Because I'm looking at this now. He signed a 1 year, less than $1 million contract with Seattle. He appeared in two preseason games and then got released.
People not but and they weren't putting up with his guff. They're not putting up with it, dude. And the funny part about that was, had he been on the team, he would have, if I'm not mistaken, that was the year they ended up playing the Patriots,
Yeah.
which that would have really cemented them beating the Patriots. Him and Marshawn?
Mm.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
The depths of the Terrell Owens saga. No.
Bro. Mm-mm-mm. Well, there you go. Um, all right. So this has been a very informative, quite fun episode of
Man,
United World of Sports. Um, went an hour over, but damn it, it is what
it
it is.
wasn't really an out. We only about 45 minutes over actually because we started up late. So
Yeah,
now
yeah, 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 yeah. It was close to 6:30. Good point.
yeah, yeah,
So
it
so
wasn't
yeah.
that bad.
So yeah. Um, so it's Dante Suave, Mystah Jay,
Enjoy the
according.
Super Bowl, everybody, this weekend.
Yes.
Enjoy all the festivities. If you're with your family, have fun. I just got word that my daughter now has another snow day tomorrow because they're talking about another 3 to 5 inches during the day tomorrow. So I will be getting up at the crack of dawn to get my stuff from my job and taking my butt back home because I'm not getting stuck out in Harrison in this mess. No, siree, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And it
Crap.
might be
And I was gonna try to get back to work tomorrow. Oh
it
boy.
might be a remote day from this school here tomorrow because I ain't driving. Nope. Not in 3 to 5. And the 3 and 5 bullseye is directly over Hamilton, Clinton, and Butler and Warren counties,
About what time?
starting at 8 a.m.
Crap.
Yeah,
That's
it's
me
supposed
being
to
in.
be 8 to 8. It's only a 12-hour window, and we getting 5 inches of snow in a 12-hour window.
that's right in the midst of when I would be out working. Good
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
This sucks. But it could be worse. My daughter was in a blizzard in North Carolina this weekend, so you
well,
think
I kept trying to tell people that if they notice as the years have gone on, the Earth is moving weird because you used to be able to go down south in the 80s, but as time has gone on, the question is the whole reason for the global warming because the Earth
we
is
tilting.
the Earth is turning weird, and
We tilting.
now you just got to go further south to basically get away from it. In other words, you're not even in the country.
I no. Technically, you can go to Puerto Rico and be with Bob Bunny and be in the sunshine and in the 70s. Other than that, no, sorry,
Well,
mom.
you're somewhere that's a part of the country, but technically you're not in the country. So,
Hey, you don't need a passport because
all right.
sure, silver
So,
black.
oh God. All right. Dante Suave, Mystah Jay. Hopefully, Drew will be back next week. He's doing family sports stuff with the
We doing
family.
Super Bowl recaps with or without him.
Yes, sure enough. And we will be doing the two segments. One of them was who deserves a ring. Who deserves a ring?
I saw that one.
Yeah. We'll do that one. And then there was one that I totally forgot about, but it was speaking of TO, and that's what made me think about that. Um, there was four wide receivers: Deshaun Jackson, T.O., Devontae, and AJ. And the question was, which one would you pick? And now I want you to sit on that until next week.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Till next week, y'all. Have a good
Have
one.
a good one, folks. See ya.